So very big news for the cryptocurrency markets and the overall macro that we are seeing right now. I do think that there are big investors that are literally salivating and foaming at the mouth right now for what they're seeing. And why exactly would they be doing that, given we're being told by mainstream media that things are going to escalate and get much worse? So that's what I want to discuss in today's video.
And just before we go further, I want to remind you that this video is based solely on my opinion and what I'm personally doing in this market. I want to also let you know that some of the links below are affiliate links, meaning I may earn a commission, but this will be at no extra cost to you. This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy sitting in his room. So for more information on this, head down to the description and let's jump into it.
We've been speaking about what Crypto Insights UK has been talking about, the liquidity down here, and so far he seemed to be very correct. As we were above $2, he was saying that we'll probably come down into this liquidity zone before having an opportunity to rise to the upside. And even though we do have a macro developments that are happening that are affecting the crypto market, nonetheless, this technical idea is coming to fruition as we speak. So XRP did this morning dip down to as low as $1.91. To update you guys on my trades, Solana, Ethereum, XRP, SUI right now in a loss after hitting significant stop losses. A lot of them break even stop losses. As you know, I've already taken profits from pretty much all of these trades and a significant amount of profit from Bitcoin, which has protected the downside. But I'm not here to tell you that I positioned myself perfectly, everything went great. No, I did lose a little bit of money here in these trades. Thankfully, we took enough out of the Bitcoin trade to protect that money I lost. So we're not in a net loss here, but nonetheless we are lower than our entries right now. I have this morning, after the stop losses were hit last night, added or re-added back some of my margin into these positions, putting the size up a little bit, and now waiting to see if we get a bounce. If we don't get a bounce, the place I'm watching on a technical level would be $1.91 to hold. Will we see something similar to this play out? You see there was an initial push to the downside, about $1.61. We came up, we came back down to $1.71, we came up, and now we've come back down to $1.91. So are we continuing to put in higher lows here, or are we going to start to lose this structure? I'll let you guys know what I'm seeing as we're going. And this morning I did also open or add to the XRP position here quite significantly. I bolstered up the position up to 5,000 XRP here with 5x leverage, using XRP as my collateral for this trade. So finally I found an exchange, BYDFI, that I can use my spot XRP to then use to trade. So if I think XRP is going up, I can then use my XRP to basically bet on that happening, and as we go up I generate more XRP. So we now have 40 XRP in a profit, and I'm hoping this gets significantly better. And right now we can put in a break-even stop loss or something like that to protect the downside if I wanted to. Now on top of that, I spoke to BYDFI and I got an opportunity for everyone, but it's only 9 days left. If you trade on BYDFI, you can get up to 4,600 XRP. So this is probably the best XRP bonus we've got so far on this channel, and there will be an affiliate link down there in the description. Please read the event rules and the terms of conditions by following the affiliate link down there in the description. But exciting time to grab some XRP, at least while the market is in turmoil right now. So as I said, we are in slight losses here, but because I've added to my trades here, I'm hoping the price does get up and we get to take advantage of this market. Now, what normally happens in environments like this? The stock market traders, we can see, right? It's a bit harder to base what happens in crypto, but what happens in the stock market? As we know, I believe that Bitcoin's price is very closely tied to Nasdaq's price, and then XRP's price is very closely tied to Bitcoin's price. So we can basically divulge what happens to the stock market, can kind of give us an idea of what's going to happen to the larger caps, at least for the altcoins. My opinion, maybe everything goes to zero tomorrow. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Please go and do your own research. But stock market traders should follow these rules when military conflicts break out, according to this guy in his article on Market Watch. Go and check it out for yourself if you want to read this more in depth. But in his experience, the vast majority of these pundits peddle doom and gloom that makes for great headlines. What does that mean? The evidence is extremely clear on one thing. The vast majority of geopolitical events do not matter for equity market performance over investment horizons horizons of more than 1 month or longer. So, in turn, don't panic and resist the urge to sell stocks in a rush. On average, the correct response to geopolitical crisis is to buy risky assets as they sell off. Ignore the warnings of doom and gloom forecasts, as in most cases, they are based on an assumption that the crisis rapidly escalates and gets out of control. However, that rarely happens. Over the last 150 years, we have seen only 2 instances where wars got out of control: World War I and World War II. Maybe this is the start of World War III, and you guys need to act accordingly. For me personally, I don't think that's going to happen, but I have my plan if it does. Stop losses and my fact that I will hold probably my stocks and ETFs through that, and dollar cost average. That's my plan. It might change. You guys need to figure out your own plan for if that happens. But we also have this article here that was interestingly written as the Russia-Ukraine situation went through in 2022. But look at this. US stocks tend to fall at the outbreak of war, and then in almost always recovers quickly from these plunges. Specifically, research found that stocks typically drop 10% in the days that follow the start of a conflict, but 1 year after the onset of war, they gain 11% on average. We can see here the first Gulf War, down at the start, then up. The second Gulf War, down at the start, then up. During the Russia-Ukraine conflict in 2014, down and then up, and then a little bit down there, and then ending higher. So what's interesting about this is they actually specifically talk about a chip giant, Nvidia, back in 2022. People were panic selling Nvidia because the price went down 20 to 30%. But guess where Nvidia sits right now? So if you had been part of the people that panic sold Nvidia because of a conflict breaking out, a war breaking out, whatever you want to call it, you'd probably be pretty annoyed right now. And I am speculating that the same can be said for large caps and Bitcoin. Mainly Bitcoin. Obviously, most of my portfolio is Bitcoin, but the same could be said for things like XRP, which could be an opportunity to build my position in a moment like this, because I think that XRP will probably be out for many more years to come, and there will be a time when this conflict at some point reaches an end. And I don't think it's going to result in World War III, but I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, then we got bigger things to worry about, in my opinion. However, right now, as long as that doesn't happen, could be an opportunity, and that's why I am acting accordingly. I have recently added to the XRP position here, so I can hopefully profit from this pullback while everyone else is panicking. And if I look here at the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map, most people are now short. Almost no one is long in this market at this moment, and that is why I feel comfortable bolstering these positions for a hopeful bounce. Now, like I said, it's only hopeful. I can only use the data that I can see, and that is the reason why I think that large investors are salivating right now and they're exciting. Now, are they excited about XRP? Are they excited about Bitcoin? This is much harder to tell, but in the history, 150 years, 2 world wars, and guess where the stock market is? Guess where the NASDAQ is? And from that data, because those are tightly correlated to where Bitcoin is, and Bitcoin is, in my opinion, tightly correlated to what happens with the altcoins, you can see where my opinion comes from. So with that said, guys, hopefully I settled some nerves out there. If you do want to trade and you want to get your hands on this 4,600 XRP, I think it's a great opportunity. Time is running out right now, only 9 days left, but you need to read the terms of service. You need to understand what these exchanges are about, and you need to do your own research. But those affiliate links are down there in the description if you do want to grab them. And with that said, guys, I did mention this in the other video, but my channel has recently been demonetized. So if you want to help me out and you appreciate this content, subscribe and turn on those notifications, because I think my reach is going to be affected by this, and having those notifications on and being subscribed will really help me out. All I ask in return, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.